What if the path you reject so much today is, in fact, the very fertile soil where your soul needed to learn how to bloom? There are moments when we don't have the road we want, but only the road that shows up. It's in this space between wanting and being able that life teaches us its greatest secrets. This video is an invitation to realize that every step, even the seemingly limited ones, is already guiding your consciousness toward a greater destiny. In spirituality, in self-knowledge, and in the awakening of consciousness, we often look for shortcuts. We want to go straight to the ideal, perfect path, the one the mind imagines as the right one. But life is a master at reminding us. First you walk where you can, and then where you want. This journey is not punishment, it is maturity. It is like the seed that must accept the darkness of the soil before it can know the light of the sun. Today, let us reflect on how to walk wisely along the roads that open before us until we can walk along the road we choose. Not every road before us is the one we wish to walk. Many times, life places us on a narrow path, full of stones, seemingly far from the dreams we carry. And in that moment comes the temptation to resist, to wait for another route, to believe that we will only truly start living when we finally stand on the road we idealized. But wisdom invites us to realize, life never begins later, it always begins here. Think of a job that isn't your dream, but provides for you right now. Think of a relationship that isn't perfect, but is a field of learning. Or of a health journey that demands patience and daily self-care. The path of what is possible is the starting point, not the finish line. Accepting the path of possibility doesn't mean giving up on what you desire, but recognizing that the first step is always taken on the ground beneath your feet. It's like a child learning to walk. Before running through the fields, they must first find balance in their stumbles. True spirituality is born out of this humility, not from fleeing the present reality, but from inhabiting it with dignity. Epictetus, the Stoic, once reminded, "It is not what happens to us that hurts, but how we react to what happens." When we stop fighting against what is, we discover that there is an invisible force already shaping us. The path of possibility is always the first teacher, the one who teaches us patience, resilience, and trust. It is here that we learn to be whole, even if it's not yet the scenery of our dreams. There exists a mysterious space between what we can do and what we want to do. This interval, often painful, is also profoundly sacred. It is there that we grow. It is like the seed that, in the darkness, needs time to develop its roots before bursting into the light. The dark soil may seem empty, but it is there that life prepares itself. The interval between wanting and being able is not a void, but fertile ground, where patience and courage grow invisible roots. It is there that the ego sheds its illusions, and the soul finds its true voice. Taoist traditions speak of Wu Wei, non-forcing, acting in harmony with the natural flow of existence. When we try to skip stages, we suffer. When we learn to honor the interval, life rewards us with the right timing of things. The river does not rush to meet the sea. It flows, bends, meets stones, yet continues its movement. So too is our journey. The interval between wanting and being able is fertile ground. It seems empty, but it is in this space that the roots of maturity germinate. It is the invisible soil where patience, courage, and wisdom are formed. Often, we see this time as loss or delay, but in truth, it is the frame that sustains future freedom. And what if the waiting that bothers you today is, in fact, the exact time your soul needs to be ready for what it longs for? The interval is not the end. It is only the background music preparing the main melody of your life. Many times, we believe that life only makes sense if it takes us in a straight line to our desires. But the truth is that the soul rarely walks in a straight line. It moves in spirals, curves, and detours, and it is precisely in these detours that we find the deepest lessons. The psychologist Carl Jung once said, "What we deny in ourselves ends up governing our lives." In the same way, the paths we do not choose appear as unexpected teachers, revealing hidden parts of our essence. The road that seems like loss may, in fact, be revelation. Think of a mountain. From its base, we only see the distant summit. But as we climb the trails, landscapes unfold that were once hidden. The same happens in life. The detour opens horizons we would never have known had we gone straight to the dreamed destination. The invisible roads challenge us because they hurt the ego's need for control. They may feel unfair, unnecessary, even cruel. Yet, in deep silence, we can realize they are not punishments, but invitations. Invitations to integrate the shadow, to strengthen the soul, and to discover the beauty that exists precisely in what was not part of our plan. Remember the seed. It does not choose a straight path to the surface, but must follow the natural curve of the soil, winding around stones and diversions to reach the light. In the same way, the detours in our lives are not wrong turns, but necessary parts of our growth. They invite us to embrace the shadow and to discover a beauty that was not in our original design. There comes a moment in the journey when resistance grows weary. It's when, after fighting against the tide, we realize that our effort does not change the flow of life. That is when surrender is born, not as defeat, but as an act of trust. Surrender is opening yourself to the now. It is allowing the present to teach you without demanding it be different. The writer Henry David Thoreau, who sought wisdom in the simplicity of nature, once said, "I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately." That is the power of surrender, to live the now fully, without running away from it. When we surrender, we realize that the present is not an obstacle but a teacher. It teaches us to breathe, to be silent, to listen to the soul. It is like sitting before a calm lake. We don't need to change the water, only to look and allow the reflection to reveal something about ourselves. Surrender opens space for the invisible to act. While we fight, we cannot see. But when we let go, life reveals the signs that had been hidden. The present, once rejected, becomes a bridge toward the future we long for. After accepting, waiting, straying, and surrendering, something silent happens. The desired path begins to open up, not like instant magic, but as a natural consequence of a matured heart. It is like the seed that first dives into the darkness of the earth, creates invisible roots, endures the silent wait, and only then blossoms in the sunlight. Life also demands this time of rooting before allowing us to achieve our greatest desires. When we learn to walk the possible path with presence, the road transforms before our eyes. What once seemed like a limitation reveals itself as preparation. What once seemed like a delay shows itself as the perfect rhythm. The path we so dreamed of does not come from outside. It is born from within, from our spiritual maturation. It is at this point that we understand the phrase that guides this entire video. Go the way you can, until you can go the way you want. Because, deep down, wanting and being able are not separate. The soul's desire naturally meets life's power when we are ready to walk with truth. Take a deep breath and close your eyes for a moment. Imagine you are walking on a simple road, perhaps not the one you dreamed of, but the one life has offered you. Feel your feet touching the ground, one step at a time. Now, visualize that each step, even if imperfect, lights a discrete light that illuminates further ahead. Little by little, the road transforms before you, revealing landscapes that were once hidden. This is the mystery of life. When we walk with presence, the path we desire finds us. If something inside you calmed down or awakened upon hearing these words, allow yourself to continue. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to walk with us on this road of fertile silence, discoveries, and reconnection. Leave your experience in the comments. Your sharing is also a seed of healing for other hearts. And to continue expanding this field of presence, we suggest the video that is on the card. May it be a light breath on your journey. peace and light.